91 years ago today, a plague swept across America. Yes, you too, Canada. And its name was Prosperity Club. Now, I've already precogged exactly what you're thinking. Why aren't I talking about Cinco de Mayo? Well, I did. A couple weeks ago. My bad. I'll link it to this video and add the URL in the description just in case. And no, I'm not taking off the hat. Anyways, back to the Prosperity Club, which I promise you is one of the most absurd things you've heard all day. Unless you've already gone into the tequila. In 1935, most of the world was going through the Great Depression, and people were hurting. However, someone in Denver had a plan. Chain letters. Now, chain letters have actually been around for quite some time, and yes, they have always been a bit weird to say the least. For example, I remember something like this going around when I was a kid, and if you didn't pass it along, the monster would kill you.
Oh.
And the chain letters out of Denver ran on a similar premise, except hopefully you get dimes back, rather than Samara. Well, the idea kinda popped off, with everyone getting in on the craze. I'm not entirely sure how anyone expected to get rich when everyone was just passing along their dimes, but then I realized that's just how our current economy is operating. This became a problem, as all these chain letters quite literally flooded the country. For example, Denver went from having roughly 180,000 pieces of mail per day to 500,000. However, the government did eventually put a stop to it for a pretty interesting reason. Since there was a potential prize to be won from these chain letters, it was decided that they were in violation of postal lottery and fraud statutes. Why is this interesting? Because gambling was pretty big during the Great Depression, with many places re-legalizing it, or at least types of it, such as horse race betting in California. In fact, gambling usually increases during recessions. Just like it today. Between sports betting and prediction markets, it's literally becoming a global economy. Trump said so himself, and he would know. He's had several casinos go under, despite the house always winning, and is trying to turn Truth Social into a prediction market, which feels like a conflict of interest. And much like Fred Trump's dreams of Donald having more than 3 brain cells, most of the Prosperity Club's hopes were dashed after only a few weeks. However, if you open your spam folder, you'll see that chainmail is still kicking. Oh, by the way, you have to share this video with 5 friends, otherwise, Samara will find you. Sorry about that. And that's your history today.